Is your dog or cat keeping you up all night scratching and licking, and you've been searching everywhere for natural remedies that relieve itching in dogs and cats? Search no more, I've got some answers for you. I'm Dr. Ruth Roberts, your pet's ally. Before I go further, though, click on the subscribe button, like the video, and ring the bell so that I know that you like this information and I can produce more content for you. It is estimated that allergies in pets are one of the biggest complaints that veterinarians hear, and unfortunately, they seem to be really skyrocketing. Now, a little while back, I talked about some of the reasons that this happens because of leaky gut syndrome or intestinal permeability, and you can go check that video out or the blog post. But today, I want to talk a little bit more about dog itching remedies, things that you can do for your cat's itchy skin as a home remedy. So you're not having to go to the vet and get the Cytopoint, the prednisone, the Apoquel, all of that stuff that has got to have side effects down the road. So first of all, when you're thinking about what can I put on my dog for itching, think about bathing. And the reason this is important is that if your dog is super itchy, by washing him or her and taking whatever pollens and allergens and things of that nature off of the skin, you are going to relieve the itching. Make sure that you're using cool or at most tepid water when you bathe, though, because hot water is going to make the skin more itchy. Now, another thing that I will suggest to clients frequently is to use an apple cider vinegar rinse, and that's super simple. You take 2 ounces of apple cider vinegar, mix it with a gallon of water, and then literally just pour this on your dog. Use a sponge to kind of put it underneath the tummy, down the inside of the legs, just really kind of cover everywhere. Let your dog sling this stuff off after you've got them good and soaked through, and then let them go outside, shake it off, and then gently towel them dry so you're not removing a ton of that apple cider vinegar rinse. It'll help kill some of the bacteria and yeast on the skin, and it's a natural anti-inflammatory. Now, for cats as an itchy skin treatment, this is a little tougher to convince cats that a bath is a good idea, but if your cat is pretty complacent, then go for it. So some of the other things I want to talk with you about as far as dry skin or itchy skin remedies for dogs are a couple of different products. And one is Antronex from Standard Process. This is sort of a weird thing, but it is a fat that is extracted from a beef liver, and it seems to help reduce circulating levels of histamine, which is what causes your pet to scratch. Now, the other thing you could use would be something like canine dermal support. If you have a cat, you can also use this, but use it at the small dog dose. This is in a powdered form, so you do want to make sure that your cat is amenable to eating this kind of stuff. And then lastly, for really great control of itching by suppressing the amount of histamine that is circulating in your pet's body, you can use It contains stinging nettles, and it does an outstanding job of really reducing itching and things of that nature. I've had several clients that were able to actually get their pets off of Apoquel and similar medications by using this. And then lastly, as far as supplements go, is our CrockPET fish oil. Again, this is a super high dose. For itchy skin, you want to be using somewhere around 100 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids per pound of body weight. That's a very high dose, and this contains 2,800 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids. So you see here, there's the marine fish oil concentrate, which is 600 milligrams, and then you see this omega fatty acids split out separately. Now, what that means is if we're using that for at 100 milligrams per pound of body weight, then that means that 1 teaspoon is going to treat approximately 28 pounds of dog. So if you've got a 50-pound dog, you're going to want to use probably 2 teaspoons a day. And that's sort of a a good starting dose, and just adjust it based on how your pet responds. Now, some of the other things you want to look at are these. When we think about allergies, again, they're split into kind of three broad categories. One is fleas. So you want to make sure that you have the fleas under control. You can do that by environmental treatment where you're killing the flea eggs and larvae, whether that's with something like busters.com. They have both a non-toxic powder you can treat carpeting and furniture with, as well as nematodes you can spray in the yard. And then there's other things like essential oil sprays and bug zone, bug tags and things like that. But finally, for some of you that live in the Southeast, those just aren't going to do it. And so you may need to use a flea product. I would advise you do not use the oral ones, because what has to happen is your pet eats them. It is stored in their body, in their fat usually, for up to 30 days, and it is circulating through their bloodstream constantly. That doesn't sound like a good idea as far as overall health, right? But, sometimes that's a better option than antibiotics and steroids or antibiotics and other allergy suppressant medications. And then, so the next category would be food, and that's divided into true food allergies, meaning if your pet eats chicken, it just makes the itching go wild, or food sensitivities, meaning if your pet eats chicken, it makes the allergies go wild. And sometimes it's difficult to distinguish between the two until, again, you work on your pet's leaky gut syndrome. And then the third category is everything else. So tree pollen, grasses, flower pollens, pollutants in the air, pollutants in the water, all of this stuff. So that's where something like an allergy test would be helpful. And you could look at it very simply through something like Glacier Peaks Holistics Life Stress Scan, which will also give you information about your pet's food sensitivities. It's a simple at-home test that you can do by submitting some saliva and a little bit of hair. And the other option is to actually do blood test for allergies. And in doing that, you can often have oral hyposensitization therapies developed, especially if your pet ends up being allergic to mites and mold. That's where those oral sensitization therapies really shine. Whether it's oral or injectable, they are effective about 65% of the time. And for pets that do not have sensitivities to things like grasses, pollens, mold, or dust mites or green storage mites, it may take up to a year to see relief from the symptomatology. So that can be very frustrating. And many veterinarians will use it along with some of the allergy medications, which I don't think works very well because we're suppressing immune function. And the goal of hyposensitization therapy is to train the immune system to respond more appropriately to these allergens. So I hope that is helpful. If it is, again, click the subscribe button, click the like button on the video, and ring the bell, and we'll send you notifications when the next video comes out. I'm Dr. Ruth Roberts, your pet's ally. And by the way, there is a link to a more thorough blog post down in the comments for you. So until next time, remember your pet's best health starts in the bowl.